Okay, I promise this time no quantum mechanics. Welcome to Santa Barbara, KSBA here. This is GPB 500's wonderful freeware scenery and X-Plane, and that, of course, is Jack Sketchius's wonderful 737-200 in the colors of my youth, TWA double meatball. As you can see, the weather here is pretty damn iffy. We got in here by the skin of our teeth. Still figuring out how to fly this airplane. We're going to go from here, very quick hop up to San Francisco. We're flying at flight level 220, and we'll just make sure that that's set right here, and it is. And that our pressurization is on flight, and it is. The route we're going to take is the Flout 5 departure with the Gaviota transition, and then we're going to work our way up direct Morro Bay, direct Salinas, and then we're going to fly to just about Moffett Field, and we will pretend we're getting vectored in for the 28 right ILS arrival here at KSFO, where the weather is a little bit better than here, but not enormously good. Just very quickly check our altimeter. Right now it's saying, by the way, overcast 500, and that looks about right. Wind is nil. Altimeter is standard. All right, well, standard it is, standard it is. We will get out of here in a pitch mode initially, and the Flout 5 departure is going to be a little bit tricky in a manual plane that is as fast as this is, but essentially it is going to be runway heading, an immediate right turn to intercept the 197 radial out of San Marcos, and then to fly it to DME 18, and just before DME 18 join the 131 radial inbound to Gaviota. The only real restriction is we have to be at 6,000 or above by here, and we'll probably be at about 8 million or above. Given that we're a jet and we're not unbelievably loaded, but we'll see what we can do. So let us taxi out to runway 7 and make sure I've got everything else set up. Brakes on RTO, lights out, heats on. All right. I'm not going to bother. I didn't bother with starting anything up. Can't be bothered with that right now. I just want to get in this thing and fly it. I'm going to set our trim. Speed brake is off. Flaps are 15. I will tell you right off the bat that I'm not very good at this airplane, but we'll see how we do. And look at that. Look at that cloud base rolling in there. So we're going to go straight to our cruising altitude, which is not going to be very high. And at the moment, we're going to go out in a pitch mode. And you notice our flight director bars are pitched up to about there. Actually, I want to pitch it up a little bit higher. And we will almost immediately turn to a heading of about 230 to intercept this radial coming out of Gaviota, which we should have tuned up. We're going to receive clearance to cross the runway because it's the only way to get out to the other end of it, right over here. So we'll just double check, make sure nothing's popping out of the murk. Wow, look at that low cloud. That's pretty damn cool. Alright, so we're going to go across to that taxiway over yonder. Not exactly getting stunning frame rates here. but we'll make do. Wow, look at that runway texture. That is pretty damn beautiful. This is a work in progress from GPB, as are several of his other sceneries like San Luis Obispo and John Wayne. So if you see any glitches, anything missing here, it's only because he's still working on it. And I've had the privilege of being able to try it out. If you'd like to try it out, he says to drop him an email. He's at GPB500 on xplane.org. You can find some of his sceneries there already, and I think you can get in touch with him that way by sending him a direct message. But he also does Palm Springs, and it's a beautiful Palm Springs. And as you can see right here, I mean, this just looks great. Got custom trees, custom ortho, it's got grass, it's got beautiful lights, custom signs. It just looks wonderful. This, by the way, is X-Plane 10.5 Beta 7. So there could be some glitches. On the flight down here, I discovered it didn't pick up a couple of nav aids, and I don't quite know why, but alright, there we go. We'll just get our lights on. Taxi lights off, logo light is on, strobes can come on. I'm not going to do a rolling takeoff here. I do not know the airplane well enough, and there's only so much embarrassment I can take. So we'll start with probably not being able to line up correctly. Not bad. Not bad at all. All right. So let's review. Let's get a heading dialed up of about 2. All right, about there. I'm going to take off, and we're going to go that way. We are in heading select mode. We can't arm that till the autopilot is on. The moment we're just pitch mode right now. Flaps are 15, trim is set, speeds are bugged. Lights here are out. Alright, that's good, that's good, that's good. Check our nav aids. Okay, we are active on 114.9, that's San Marcos, and again we're going to fly that just to about DME 16, and we're going to make our turn on the 321 of Gaviota, which I think I'm going to do right here. 1138 is set. I'm going to use the RMI to intercept the 131, or I'm going to put the head of this on 321. Alright, speaking of 321, shall we? Make sure my speed brakes are not armed, and they are not. Alright, we've set an EPR limit. It's about 2.15. It's a pretty short runway. So we're going to set our power smartly. A little bit more. There we go. Airspeed's alive. There's 80. And up we go. gear up, start our turn. Pitch down oh so slightly. There we go. We'll set climb power. Pitch down a little bit. Speed up a little. Start bringing our flaps. And we'll look to come in on that radial right about there. Now we're pretty close to the station, so it's going to come in kind of sharply. And I'm just doing this manually now. Okay, here it comes. And we'll get ourselves into a standard rate turn. Bring in our flaps. Just overcooked it a little bit there. And we're looking for about 17 miles, at which point we'll turn northbound. Okay, let's get ourselves established here. We're just hand flying now. Pitching down a little bit. Bring up our speed. Okay, we're about 7 miles from our turn. Alright, we're coming in on that radial nicely. Pitch down a bit more. And we will start our turn right about now. To the north. Get ourselves into heading select mode if we can. Okay. Heading select. Come on. There we go. And we'll head towards Gaviota. And we'll make our flip, actually. We turn just a little bit soon. Flip ourselves over to Gaviota. Get ourselves on the, what was it, the 321. And we're almost there. Pop ourselves into nav loc mode, see if we can grab it. That's the 326. We'll blow through it a little bit. All right, there we go. Pitch ourselves down a little bit. And now we'll get into IAS mode, which, well, you know what, let's bring our speed bug's in the right place. Alright, so we'll arm altitude and pop into IAS hold, get our gear off, get our lights off, get our brakes off, and away we go. Next stop is San Marcos. Which is... No, I'm sorry. Next stop is Salinas. So we're 9 from Gaviota. And... we'll do Morro Bay 112.4. 112.4 from Morro Bay. Okay, 112.4 from Morro Bay. Let's fly this heading right now. We should be able to pick up Morro Bay. So, pop ourselves back into heading select mode in 1 second, as soon as I square up that heading bug. Back into heading select. Make our flip, 112.4. And are we receiving it? We are not. Not yet. You know why? 112.4. How far away are we? Oh, we should be close enough. Coming out of Gaviota, we're now 4 miles past Gaviota. No, I'm sorry. Correct that. We're just coming across Gaviota. Well, you know what? Our changeover point is here, 20 miles away, so let's just do this. Instead, we'll just keep flying this outbound radial using our heading mode. Except I'm not tuned to Gaviota. Am I? Now I'm tuned to Gaviota, and now let's get back on that radial. Oh, hang on. Let's not do anything rash. We're right over the station. Alright, that's better. Now we'll get back on the radial once it stops jiggling around. And we'll actually find that we're in the right place anyway, and we shouldn't have done that swerve. And there we go. I wish I could just flip this on the glare shield, but I can't. So there we go. We'll go into VOR loc. We'll track this outbound. I wish I could just flip it right here. That would seem to make sense, but it only selects the mode for the flight director. Alright, we're climbing nicely. We can actually pour on a little bit more juice here. and we're climbing fairly slowly because I want to get up to altitude, at least in enough time to make the descent interesting. Otherwise, we're straight up and down. I probably should have said 200 instead of 220, but we'll be okay. Look at the angle we're going up at. We're climbing a little bit slower than we ordinarily would, but this is what makes it fun. What continues to make it not fun in X-Plane, no matter what I do with SkyMax or Real Weather Connector or anything, is that no matter what I seem to do, there seems to still be a limited horizon for weather. And you noticed we departed from absolute utter muck, and yet if you look right here, you'll see that it's actually not bad off in the distance, and it only changes to that crap once you get right up on it, which is not really realistic, but there you have it. I'm just going to creep up our speed a little bit. Alright, so we're about 10 miles from our changeover, and let's see if we can pick up Morro Bay. So let's see, that's 112.4. We'll put that in here. And we're now 43 miles away from it. And it is off about our 11:30. So let's pop back into heading mode. Do a lot of that in this plane, and that is okay. And we'll flip over to Morro Bay like so. Get ourselves on a reasonable intercept here. Just enough so we make a gentle turn onto it. And we'll set that up to grab it. And it should fly this heading until it does grab it, which should be momentarily. Alright, we're about 3,000 away from our cruise, and we're turning now towards Morro Bay, which is 39 miles away. Let's see if it'll capture it. I don't know what the parameters are in the real plane for how far off a radial the autopilot will sort of comfortably grab it, or what when it decides to turn, but I presume it takes into account your speed. And we have armed our altitude, and we are in VOR loc mode, so that's good. Our engines haven't caught fire yet. That's even better. Still climbing at a fairly leisurely rate of speed here. And in we come. Alright, so after Morro Bay, our next stop will be Salinas, which is 117.3. I'll get that ready to go. And get it in our standby here. Done and done. And is it possible we're already picking up Salinas? I guess so. Let's see. It's possible. Okay, 1,000 away. Okay. I'm looking at Moffett right here, and there's a station for it, but I don't know if we can fly to it. It sure as hell looks like a tack-in, an attack-in only. So I don't think we can do that, but we'll fly to San Jose. All right, 400 feet away from our cruising altitude. Slowly speed ourselves up here. And in a second this will light up, congratulating us for hitting our altitude. There we go. And it should, well, it will capture it in just one little second. Alright, yeah, it says we're 118 miles away from Salinas. So in about 10 miles we'll just tune in Salinas here. Save ourselves a little bit of heartache. Alright, altitude is captured. We're good. Alright. Get back into heading select. Flip ourselves over to Salinas. Get that heading right about there. And let's capture this one manually. We're a good distance away, so it's going to come in pretty slowly, and that will give us time to screw things up. See how it's just sort of lollygagging its way in? And let's see, after Salinas is 114.1 San Jose. Get that ready to go. And alright, so we're just going to basically keep this and that, the tip of this and the tip of that connected as we turn on in until this, and that pretty much coincide. Meantime, let me just see what our good friends in Turkey are doing with their coup. Well, the headline in the New York Times is Erdogan, that's the president's, grip on power uncertain as Turkey reels from attempted coup. Wow. Got a colleague who's in Turkey right now. Heard from her earlier today and she was doing alright, but can't be good. Alright, so we're up 102 miles away from Salinas, and then from there we go to San Jose. And yeah, we do know the way to San Jose. How do you like that? Alright. We could find a more congenial direct course there. could turn to that one, or we could turn to this one. Let's do this one. That's about the 320 radial coming in. So again, we're going to just, as that CDI starts to march its way to the right, we will turn slightly to the right to keep the lub line, which is this thing right here, connected with the tip of the CDI. Now, ideally what you would do is you would figure out exactly where, given your speed and your turning rate, the right place would be to initiate a standard rate turn, but I don't know that yet on this airplane, so I'm guessing it is going to be shortly. And of course it'll depend on the distance from the station too. Closer you are, the more sharply you will have to turn, and of course the faster you're going, the tougher that is. So we're just lollygagging our way in here. Still a little bit to the right of the radial. I'll fly this heading for a minute or two, and then grab another 5 degrees or so. And we are at our cruising altitude. We're at our cruising speed. We're actually going at a pretty nice clip. The 727 can fly kind of expeditiously. I think if you wanted to, you could cruise it at about Mach 0.83 or 4 even. It's a slippery plane. It had highly swept wings, low bypass engines, back when fuel was unbelievably cheap and speed was at a premium, you used to, there was no such thing as cost index, at least not as such. And if you were flying from west to east, there's also no such thing as throttling back a little bit because you catch the jet streams. So I recall one flight from Chicago to New York where our ground speed, the captain announced, was 750 miles, give or take, an hour, which was absurd. But of course we were getting a gigantic push from an unusually vigorous jet stream. You know, we're getting about 110 mile an hour push on our tail. And so I think we did Chicago to New York in about an hour and change. About an hour and 15 minutes, something like that. Anyway, we're just using our heading bug right now to stay on our radial, but what I'll do is I'll pop it into VOR loc mode. Now that we've well and truly established ourselves on that radial, inbound, 64 miles. Let's brief our approach. Autopilot's a little bit frisky there. All right. Get rid of that. Don't need it. Get rid of that. Don't need it. So we are going to fly, pretending we have vectors, basically from San Jose, which is right about here, actually. More accurately, right about there. And we'll come in and intercept the localizer, and we'll be accurate, and we will, let's see, we need to be Let's see, 8.8, 15 at about 16 miles. We need to be at 3,000 feet. And it's calls for the Oakland VOR also, so that we can get our waypoints inbound by using the radials off of there. And Axmal's our final approach fix. And Axmal is just, I think, just right about where the San Mateo Bridge is, so it's easy to tell when you're visual where you are. And right now we're getting a little bit exuberant on the airspeed there. We're right up around our barber pole, so let me just come down a little bit. As much fun as it is to fly at Mach 8.4, I think we'll try to make it more like Mach 8.1 or 2. You can see we're actually cruising ever so slightly nose down. So let me just unspool a little speed there. Alright, that should do us nicely. And again, we're going from Salinas to San Jose, 114.1. 114.1 on about the 121, 131, 14. About the 150 radial, so let's see, that's 114.1. Okay, that's already set in standby there, and it should be inactive in nav 2, and it is, but it's not alive yet. And I don't believe there's any DME on it, but there might be. No, there is. Okay. And we should be right around the Monterey Peninsula there. I think we're getting close to Monterey Bay as scenery or something loads here, which is really annoying. As much as I like this plane and as much as I like X-Plane, the way it does weather and the way it loads stuff is not good. On the other hand, this plane is not bad at all. If I didn't know any better, I would say it was kind of awesome. Get our asses out of the seat a little bit, though. Alright, so we are 30, 29, 28 from Salinas, which really does mean that Monterey Peninsula should be right about there. I do like the way it's rendering clouds and fog in the mountain valleys. That is wonderful. That's kind of new for X-Plane, and it is SkyMax doing a pretty damn good job. However, the cutoff is just too close. Now I think I can adjust that a little bit, but no matter what I do, it still waits and renders and waits and renders and waits and renders. So it's still not ideal. Active Sky just came out with a new version for Prepared, and I've been running it, and if you've seen some of the videos, you've seen that it's pretty damn striking. So, you know, this is a work in progress. On the other hand, there are no good 727s in prepared, much less 727s modeled to this sort of standard of fidelity. So, you know, it pays your money and it makes your choices. All right, now let's do some descent planning. When we come out of Salinas, we're going to have 46 miles to come down to about 5,000. So we'll have to lose, we're going to actually have to start descending, well, actually right about now. So we're holding altitude. Let's set 5,000. Altitude select. Come on, there we go. And IAS mode. And once we roll off the power, like now, it will start to descend us. Once I bring up our speed bug. I will descend right about there. And we'll pop ourselves in a heading mode. And we will get San Jose tuned up. And just turn a little bit to get on that radial. And we'll pop into VOR loc mode again. We'll take note of the fact that we are going down. And our autopilot is just a little bit, again, a little bit exuberant there. And we're 44 miles away. And we have to come down 15 flight levels. So we're probably going to have to do a little speed breakage. In the meantime, our Oakland is 116.8. And we'll put that in our standby on nav 2. And in our active for nav 2, we'll put our localizer, which is 111.7. And I believe our course is 284, but I don't think I can. Can I set it independently on the first officer's side? I hope I can. Just monitoring our rate of descent here. We're below 180. Let's see what our local altimeter is. 2989. We'll set that. And since we are on this side as well, if I can, 2989, and we'll set 284 for our course, so I can monitor the localizer over here. as we come into the San Francisco Bay Area. Let's see, we're 30 away and we have to come down another 9,000 feet, so we're pretty much doing the right thing. What I'm going to have to do shortly, though, is slow down. So what I'll do is I will decrease the speed bug, but I'm going to have to bring in some speed brakes to maintain this rate of descent, or maybe just a little bit less than that once we slow down. But for the moment, we can come on plowing in like this. And actually, we want to be at 7,000, so that actually helps. Alright, so we're 20 miles away and we've got to come down another 6,000 feet. And pop our lights on here so we don't have to worry about it. Logo light. Auto brakes to medium. Passenger signs are on. All right. And we'll set in our standby our localizer 111.7. Oh, and the weather went away. Okay, there's San Jose Airport now that we've received a break in the weather. This is really kind of jive, if you ask me. Are we moving? Yeah, we're sort of moving, all right. Not really. And so we wait. Right. I think we're moving again. Alright, I'm going to start to slow. This is going to bring our nose up. I'll try and do it kind of gingerly here, so I don't come ballooning up. I'm also going to introduce some speed brake. And now we can start to slow down. And go down. Alright, well, we're back to no weather again. And again, we're going to sort of vector ourselves here. So once we get above the airport here at San Jose, we'll go into heading mode. We'll vector ourselves. We'll prepare for our ILS arrival. As a matter of fact, let's just do it right now. Heading select. Flip this one over to here. And flip this one over to there. Get ourselves set up for, alright, I'm just going to bring in out the speed brake. Now, you know what? I'm going to slow us down a bit more. There we go. Set 284. Alright, and we can come down to 5 now. Back into IAS mode. Hit Alt Cell again. Done and done. Make sure we've got our ILS frequency 111.7.284. Take out our speed brake. Arm it. Start to vector ourselves towards our localizer. Bug down our speed. Get our V speeds for landing. Land at flaps 30, and there we go. Let's let our speed come down a bit more. Make sure we are on 111.7, and we are. See how slippery this airplane is, though? Okay, we're flying almost directly right now towards Oakland, so that's Moffett. We're going to vector ourselves in from the right. There we go. I mean to the right, sorry about that. And we're going to come down to 3. And we're going to set nav loc mode right now. I'm going to slow. We're going to put in flaps 5. There we go. Let's see if it grabs the localizer. Yes, no, yes, no. Well, if it does it, it's going to do it with a big jerk. Alright, our glide slope is alive. Now it's going to blow through it. Well, as soon as we get established in the localizer, we'll arm our approach mode. And we'll do that now. Glide slope is alive. Gear can come down. We're a little slow. Get ourselves fully configured here. Alright. Square up our heading bug. Get ourselves at our approach power, which is about 57%. There we go. Get ourselves stable. Gear down. Lights on. Signs on. Flaps set. Speed brakes armed. Auto brakes set. And down we come. Now, we're looking for the 151 and 173 radial. So we're just about at 151 almost. And at that radial we should be at, what, 3,000 feet? We're a little high. But we are on the glide slope. And we're coming down at about 700 feet per minute. I'm a little bit fast now. Come off the speed a touch. Alright, we're in approach mode, so that shouldn't matter, but just for yucks, I'm going to leave that alone. And Aximal is at 173, so that's right about there, and that'll be right when we're right about over the bridge. We're right on speed, right on profile, and our power setting is about 58 and 1, so that's right about where we want to be. Actually, a little slow. It's a very draggy airplane. Let's make it about 60. I'm about 3 degrees nose up, and that's about right. Still a little bit slow. Give ourselves a little bit of a boost here. The engines take quite a bit of time to spool up. Set our missed approach altitude. As we chug on in. Now, I've been known to slam the main gear of this airplane down on landing, so I'll try not to. We'll do our damnedest. If I were any sort of aviator, I'd be hand flying this right now, but I don't have the gumption. Alright, so we just crossed Aximal and we're at just about 1,850 feet. That's exactly where we should be. Aximal was when the tail of it hit right about there. So, there we go. Alright, and what the hey? Let's fly the airplane. Oh, nice fog effect. I'm making minor little corrections here and there. Coming down about 700 feet per minute, which is what we want. Just feeling for the crosswind. I think I've got a little bit from the right-hand side. A little bit high. I'll just fix that. Okay, we're one a dot high on the Pappies, and we're one. There we go, and we're one half a dot high on the glide slope. And yeah, there is a little bit of right to left. Let's see if I can be gentle with this thing for a change. Alrighty, we thumped it again. What can I say? Off with the auto brakes. Up with the speed brakes. Up with the flaps. And off with the landing lights. On with the taxi lights. And we'll vacate with alacrity. This is Mr. X6's unbelievably good KSFO scenery. We've been cleared to cross 28 left. And we have our gate waiting right there. Alrighty. Off can come our taxi light. And we'll try to avoid the baggage truck right there. And wow, there are a lot of vehicles here. Alright, well, you know, you have to yield to sailboats if you're a powerboat. Alright, there we go. Parking brake set. Pressurization to ground. APU start. Heats off. Probe heats off. Da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-dum-bum-bum. All right, APU is on. Okay, APU power set. Ladies and gentlemen, as the jetway, well, you know, we followed the ground crew, and the ground crew told us to line up right there, and the jetway apparently had different ideas. All right, well, at least nobody's going to get rained on here, but that is my own fault. I paid attention to this guy instead of to the little yellow line, and well, you know, thanks a lot, pal. Nice, look at him. There he goes. Everybody's got a 5 o'clock shadow too. But anyway, with that, let's see that arrival. I don't know. I don't think this is going to be pretty. I think I probably flared late, but we'll see. Looks beautiful. Look at that. If you didn't know better, you could swear that that's San Francisco. And look at that, the logo lights ablaze in there. Gorgeous. Truly gorgeous. Alright, so we're nice and stable there. We're barely budging. That's as it should be. But I probably pulled off the power a little too suddenly, and I probably flared a little too late. But let's find out. I'll bet you that's what happened. Listen to the sound change as you cross. All right. There we go. There we are. Oh no, I flared high and I fell out of the sky. Here, let's see that again. Let's get the carnage from another angle here. All right, well, we do what we can. And I guess the jetway is going to come up and smack us again because we just came out of replay with our engines off. But anyway, it is quite the fabulous airport, as you can see right here, and as you can see right there. I think ours is the prettiest airplane of the bunch. I mean, look at that. Dull, duller, hot, with 3 T's. Anyway, thanks for watching. and see you next time.